start with today is discussion of, of um,
Right through here, this is Black Box Theater, where we examine the vices and virtues of humanity.
how even with the limited resources we have, we can begin to learn about tragedy in very different ways of satirizing it and working through it. So, going any further with this, we'll talk about this thing that we're going to be dealing with in particular, since we're not meeting today, modern American notes for study and discussion. Now, when we look at tragedy, modern American theater has tried to posit itself as the tragic genre. So we know that tragedy is that sense of something is inevitable going to happen and we can't get out of it. And comedy is a sense of generosity and openness, and anything is possible. Because of the how should we say, the conception of our country, um, it has been said by some theorists, and our playwrights themselves have posited that the American form is tragedy, because it's a sense that in America there's this sense of destiny, that we were and are to become a great nation. With that, of course, comes the pitfalls of any establishment, anything that's humanly believed, and that's that the pride and the hubris could overstretch itself, and of course find ourselves in big trouble as a result of those notions. And that's the tragic urge right there. So modern American theater, to think of this in terms of our class, we're going to actually think of it in a little mixed up term like theater, because we've covered that, how the ancient Greeks used theater as a means of developing their democracy. It was a ritual to meaning, to helping them overcome habitual meaninglessness, and also to understand what it was they were trying to do as a new democracy, that the people would rule. And to keep tyrants from getting in positions and then using their power against the people. Um, Theater, as we studied it, ritual to meaning, also reestablished that words are sacred and they're meaningful. We can't just use them carelessly. And for example, eventually we get into the American idea of the Constitution, that we can't uproot ourselves from something that plants us in time and space and says these are the things we believe, these are the things that are going to guide our country. So theater, ritual to meaning. Modern, what does it mean to be modern? As we move from the ancient world, we pass through the modern world to get to the American. These two are closely aligned with each other. The modern is usually marked with the Industrial Revolution. In particular, for our discussion in theater, this migration to cities brings people of very different backgrounds and cultures into one space, and they need to go to the theater for entertainment and also to recapture what was going on in the ancient Greek world, which was to understand what it means to be this new group of people in the city, and what are they going to agree with. It's going to be the social and the economic rules that they're going to play by. And then as we see that modernity, brings forth the birth of America. It's this place where new possibilities are there, and America was first established as colonies that fed the industrial machine of England, and then we rebelled against that notion of rebellion, that we won't be used, that we'll take and be free. It becomes part of our identity, and it's the Americans sort of go back image-wise to the Neo-Greek and Neo-Roman image of themselves. You look at the national monuments we have in Washington, D.C., they look very Greco-Roman. So we rebelled against England. The industrial North rebelled against England, and then as things developed, the American South, which was more agricultural, rebelled against the industrial North for the same reason. The South was used to to feed the industrial machine of the North, and then we see the movement to new frontiers, and with the Civil War, it moves on into that dichotomy of the old world fighting against the new world winning out, saying, we will continue forward. The style of this kind of theater is expressionism, as we'll see in the writings of Eugene O'Neill and Tennessee Williams. And we'll see how the old furies of the past, furies and demons of the Greeks becomes the past, becomes this sense of things happening to people, and the psychology replaces the religious, and we're seeing how violence is used as a sense of force of energy that helps to bring about a lot of the change that is going to take place in modern American theater.